Tonight on The GOAT Show.
I look vaguely Middle Eastern.
The memories are fuzzy, but I don't know if they reacted in that way.
That weather, holy shit, dude.
It's mystical.
If you need a handsome actor to cast.
Libertarian AI, Aryan.
That's how I'm trying to be.
We just got mad philosophical.
People are magic.
Welcome to The GOAT Show, the show where we celebrate and debate all things great. I am your host, ZiLLY, aka Ravine. I am joined by my co-hosts, Mr. Fresh Bueller and Mr. Deezy Ellis. Gentlemen, welcome to this very special episode. We have an excellent guest on the show today who we will get to shortly. Someone who is a champion of liberty, someone who comes from the hellscape that is LA, Hollywood, who has a lot of interesting things to say about all of that, as well as has very interesting projects coming up.
The City of Fallen Angels.
Out from LA, man.
Backwoods, that sponsorship is still open.
Bro, Backwoods, I keep spending all this money. I got a crazy supply. You guys are not hooking it up. I'm just out here doing free promo. Like, this is not really part of my vibe, bro.
We got to make it connect. We got to shout them out, Deezy.
I sent them an email. Backwoods, listen, check your emails for collaborations. All right. At the GOAT Show pod, you know, it's in the subject.
Listen, Backwoods, just because we're where we're at now doesn't mean we're going to be there all the time, all right? Get in early so you can be an OG on the GOAT Show. An OG sponsor. We'll even give you a special rate for the next 20 years.
Look, I don't know why this Indian guy is being so humble, but what the fuck do you mean where we are now? We're around really influential people, and I think you should sponsor us before I switch blunts, bro. That's what I think. I think I'm going to start laying out ultimatums, bro. I do actually, bro. I do have an awful lot of cough syrup, loose leaves.
Listen, Backwoods, you going to make us have to go with loose leaf? Is that what you're going to do?
Don't make me have to go there because I don't like them as much as Backwoods, but I'll switch off principle.
Actually, you know what? I think loose leaf might be better. How about that, Backwoods? I think it might be better. So loose leaf, if you would like to come on loose leaf as an early sponsor of the GOAT Show, there's a spot available. But we have a different sponsor for today, and we will show you them now. Goats, what's something that happens once a month, makes no damn sense, and when it does happen, we, the men, get blamed?
That's easy, bro. Like the end of the sentence, a period. Once a month, like clockwork, everything's going great, and then the Wi-Fi will go down or the AC's not cool enough, and guess who's getting the blame? Me.
As a married man, I put the blame on me every day like Akon, even when she's not flowing. And I'm not talking about rap, all right? But she found this product and it really helps. It's called NanoPads from NANNOCARE.com. These things got some patented nanogenic technology in the pad, and it actually helps relieve cramps without chemicals or anything weird. Just science doing its thing.
Dang, sounds like a game changer. And if you're a lady goat, you definitely should check out NanoPads by NANNOCARE. They are the best in the business. And if you go to NANNOCARE.com and you use the code GOAT, GOAT, you can get 10% off your first order of your NanoPads. NANNOCARE.com, NanoPads, less mess, less stress. And now back to the show. All right. And also, in addition to supporting our sponsor, because that supports us, helps us do what we do, Fresh, what do the people got to do?
You got to like, subscribe, hit the bell, drop a comment, send it to your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle.
Send it to your friends in LA, because we got an LA OG original motherfucker, someone that we were in the trenches together during COVID. None other than a good friend of the show and the three of us, and especially me, Mr. Adam Choit. Welcome, good sir. How are you doing today? I'm liking your setup, man. You got the guitar, you got the fresh plant action, you know, with the fresh air. How you doing?
No, I'm good. Thank you for having me, and I'm having fun. I was having fun just watching you go through your intro and seeing how the sausage gets made for the show here. I'm learning, and not no, I sometimes I'm not learning, but I'm being reminded of things. It's like, oh, are you doing that for your show? Are you remembering to say that? Are you remembering to do that? You need to be doing this. So it's not think that I learn too, but I also reminders are important too, I think.
Well, I'm not quite sure if the sponsor strategy is going to work. I might have just alienated both sponsors, so just wait and see on that one. We'll see how that works out.
We're a big imitate then innovate type show here, so we do the same thing that you do. We watch other people's show and we try to, how can we make our production value better? How can we make it better for the people that support?
That's the best way to learn, is by being next to people who know how to do the thing that you want to do. It's not, I've had this conversation on podcasts about education. It's not about hanging out with your friends and kids who don't know anything or are only going to be bad influences on each other. You need to be hanging out with adults who understand how the world works and can teach you usable skills. Like that way that especially Americans, I think, break down our time and our youth. Too much is spent with friends and not enough is spent with adults developing skills. I like having fun too, and I'm glad mine was that way too, because I'm a American, but who watches Saved by the Bell. No, but it's an interesting world we live in.
I mean, having a mentor is always a good thing, and having them give you nuggets of wisdom, and then they get. I mean, they have a lot to learn too, because the culture changes and the culture transforms and different things. So I feel like as much as they give you their storied wisdom, they also get to understand what's going on in the culture now as it's happening. So, but with all that, Adam, something we ask every guest on the show is, if you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Superpower, what would it be? Oh, I feel like I've thought about that question before, but I'm like freezing up right now. I feel like I'm gonna say something, and then 3 hours later, I'm gonna think of something that's not. It's not. I want to go through what it's not. It's not invisible. That's kind of dumb. I don't want to do that.
You don't want to sneak into secret military bases and see if there's UAPs and aliens and stuff like that with invisibility powers?
I haven't really thought that deep. I don't know. I want to go back in time and kill Hitler or whatever, all this stuff. Like, I don't really think about killing baby Hitler, but I think about going back in time to go to events. Honestly, that's what I think about. And like fantasize probably about too much. It's like, what would it be like to go see like Babe Ruth play and go see Jimi Hendrix and like all this stuff? Like, that's what I think about. I'm not that interested in like, oh, I want to go in the locker room and see the women and see alien technology. I don't know. I don't want to think too deeply about it, because it's not going to happen. So I want to think of the fun superpower. So maybe traveling back. I don't want to go in the future. Then I guess I'm not gonna. I might know some people in the past, but it's not really for that. I want to be able to bring people back with me. I want to be able to travel through time and bring back current day weed and maybe some friends.
Fair enough.
Maybe that's how humans became smart, through the time loop. We brought some LSD back, some psychedelics back. We taught them how to eat the mushrooms, and then we left.
Maybe that's the missing link from primates to Homo sapiens. Is you're missing you're missing like the time traveling future human that drops mushrooms off to the monkeys.
But wait, how does but then the loop, I don't.
That's the thing, is everything in time is all happening at the same time right now. The past, the present, and the future, we just perceive it through the passing of light. Everything that we perceive is light passing, and that's how we're experiencing time.
We just got mad philosophical out of nowhere.
I got lost, but then Deezy brought me back a little bit, and I was like, oh, I kind of get what he is saying a little bit. I follow.
If I remember correctly, you're from Strong Island originally, correct? And so you've heard those accents quite a bit, probably growing up, New York accents and all that.
Yeah, I remember I went to a wedding one time, and it had been a while since I was at New York, and the accent on a couple of people there were like, it was so strong, and I hadn't been around it to that degree in a while. And I had a few drinks in me, and I commented on it, and then later I was like, that was totally not appropriate to kind of like, I was like, oh, you guys have such funny accents, or your accents are great, I love it.
See, but the thing is, in the tri-state, that is appropriate, bro. Like, it is appropriate. They want you to be crass and like whatever. It would be more inappropriate to not laugh if you found it funny. They'd be like, "What you think you can't laugh from around me? What? It's not." You know what I mean? Like, you think I don't have a good sense of humor?
The memories are fuzzy, but I don't know if they reacted in that way.
I mean, New Yorkers are off. I think authenticity is important to New Yorkers, right? I mean, because I thought when I was there, when I was there for like 3 months, like I thought it was going to be like LA, where everybody's super fake and super liberal and all this stuff. And instead, I was like, no, like New Yorkers are just New Yorkers, and they don't put up any front. They just are who they are. I really actually liked it a lot and respected it a lot, like because they're New Yorkers are pretty real.
Yeah, certainly the polar opposite of LA in that way, and overwhelmingly and broadly. Am I using those terms correctly here? Maybe the way you're describing, I'm saying like New York, it's a different energy, and it's energy, a different energy than LA for sure.
Do you miss it? I know you've been out in LA for a while, but do you miss being back home?
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I appreciate. I mean, I think we all just love the weather here more than is that what the low humidity and the weather.
That weather, holy shit, dude. If LA didn't have, that's like the only thing left, right? Is the weather. I mean, are they trying to, well, they're trying to control that shit too. Let's just say we had a couple of weather incidents recently, but
Yeah, I say it like and I'm like, oh, I'm saying a cliche. Oh, the weather's great here. You can't beat the weather. But like, I guess it really is true. I can't even, there's a few other, there's other things like I've, friends here and my life is here. And like, you can go skiing in one day and you could go to the ocean in the same day, beach and whatever. But I'm not fucking doing that. But, I guess you could. People could use that for, the point is like, it's diverse, not geographically. What's the word? Topographically?
geological.
Geologically, yeah. Yeah, so there's a lot going on, hills and whatever, all this stuff, but, yeah, the weather's good, but in New York, I never lived in New York City, and I never worked full time in New York City, so I never had to take a train there every day or take driving there every day, and I never, like, lived there where I was on the subway in 100-degree weather every day of the week. So for me, New York City was really associated more with, like, "Oh, I'm going into the city with my friends. I'm going out to Chinatown with my family. I'm meeting up with people there. I'm going there for an event. Um, um, I ride Long Island Railroad a lot, often sometimes at off-peak hours, off a rush hour. I did work in the city, and I did do, like, the early commute. I did some, like, internships and PA production assistant work on independent films back in the day, and, like, when I was college age, but I never had that, like, grind it out, live in a tiny box apartment, So I have a sort of, more, romanticized view of New York City than perhaps people who even live there. But I do miss it, and I miss the East Coast, Northeast.
For the brief time I was there, I was in Little Italy, in an Airbnb for there about 2-3 months, and it's romantic, man. I mean, I think visiting. If I lived there, I don't know how long I could last, but visiting New York, especially in that area where I was right where like Little Italy and Canal Street, like right where Little Italy and Chinatown hit up against each other. So it was like,
The world is your oyster.
yeah,
The world is at your feet in New York City. You step out, you can get anything you want at any hours of the day, and
yeah, it still doesn't sleep. So, um, but that said, your journey took you from Long Island, I believe, to Syracuse University. Is that accurate? That's where
that is correct.
is that where the media bug bit you?
I would say earlier in Long Island, um I played trumpet in, like, middle school, elementary school, middle school, and then I didn't like the band teacher in middle school, so and I kinda got away. What I should have done is played in jazz band and not played in concert band. I probably had to be in concert band to play jazz band, but I was like, "Jazz band? I don't wanna play trumpet after school." Like, I'm not interested in that. I'd rather watch cartoons or play sports or do nothing. Like, I'm not gonna play like that seems like more work. But I didn't realize until later, oh, that's actually like the fun music or whatever. Yeah, you're playing rock and jazz and good people bringing guitars in and all this stuff. That's probably what I should have done. But there ended up being like media courses offered in my high school. There was a media arts class I took, I think when the band thing was. That's why I mentioned the band. in freshman year in high school. So I got like exposed to a little bit more to like photography. They had some VHS cameras, and we did have like an early avid editing system too. So I got exposed to a bunch of stuff there. And then there were video courses in high school offered. So I started to go on that track already. And then junior or senior year, I was like, oh, where am I going to go to college? What am I going to do? What am I interested in? And it was always kind of film. Like I'm not a film buff. I'm not a TV buff. I haven't seen every episode of everything. I can't spit facts and lines necessarily to you, but there's a lot of, movies and TV shows that are stuck in my brain that I love and had big.
What would you say are like some key influences, like things that have stuck with you through the years?
I think just off the top of my head, I mean, I think Back to the Future, there's just something totally magical about that film, but grounded in a reality in a sense. And I think I think that all three of like the male characters, they're all like relatable to most guys. I think on some way we can relate to George McFly. We could sometimes relate to Marty McFly, even if it's just wanting to be more like him or less like him. That's kind of a way you can kind of relate to people, and if that makes any sense. And then Doc Brown, and then I think Twilight Zone.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Biff.
No, maybe we do have maybe we all do have Biff as another side of all of us. But I was gonna say Twilight Zone. Twilight Zone, I think, looking back, was probably influenced me discovering that sort of early in middle school, high school, and that informs probably the work that I'm kind of interested in, or part of the work that I'm interested in, at least what I'm kind of even focusing on now, more maybe serious content versus comedy, and that would probably be like the third thing that had like big influences on me. Was even, I mean, going back, I mean, I got into SNL, and it was always kind of around. I have a picture of Eddie Murphy here, and George Carlin. So comedy has always been a big thing too. I've always been into comedy. Looking back, I would tape SNL episodes, just like 95, 96, like with the Will Ferrell, Molly Shannon, like their rookie year. And then at the same time, Comedy Central was playing the early 90s, mid 90s, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley. So I'm watching the new stuff that's pretty good and the old stuff that's great all at the same time. And so that was like a big thing. And there's comedy movies. I think one of the first movies my parents took me to was My Cousin Vinny. And that's totally inappropriate. But so I love comedy, but when I write, I sometimes even have tried to write comedy. That's maybe something better with a partner, actually, to be for me. But drama or sci-fi drama seems to come out more.
Well, I mean, speaking about comedy, I mean, that's kind of how the way we met originally in LA was. It was COVID, and then everything was locked down, and then there was a small break where LA decided to lift all the restrictions, and that's when Angela McArdle, mutual friend, she hosted. At that time, she was not the ex-head of the Libertarian Party. She was just a local Libertarian Party person, but she hosted an event, and there's a whole group of us that got together there, all of us libertarian types. And I don't know if you were at that. I don't know if I met you there or not.
The Tom Woods thing in Orange. I think we've talked about this, but we didn't know each other then. Not that.
There's a Tom Woods thing, and then there's one where it's at this like vegan restaurant of all places, vegan Middle Eastern restaurant. I don't know if you were there at that one, but
I think I was there too.
Yeah, I mean, the only person I met who has also been on the show is Josh. That's who I met first, and then from there we all kept hanging out. But we met there, a bunch of us, and then they turned the whole shutdown on again. So then we all became sort of like rebels. Like we were the Rebel Alliance. We were like trying to figure out all these cool things we could do to in secret to go against people not being allowed to meet up and stuff. And that's kind of how we all kind of bonded. And
I remember I'm laughing now because we didn't even do anything that was rebellious.
We just at each other's places and like cooked out and stuff, and then
oh man, we got together and had a barbecue, whatever. But I did have 2 or 3 comedy shows in this apartment.
Right, that's what I was getting at.
I'm not a stand-up comedian, but I love stand-up and I love comedy, as I've been talking about, and have produced and co-produced a few comedy shows, like one-offs. I'm kind of taking a little hiatus from doing that now, but I might actually be doing something for the Libertarian Party of LA County this year. But we'll see on that. But yeah, I did a few shows here just because I don't know, between the mandates and less shows and restrictions and annoyances and politics seeping more and more into shows, I was like, I'm just going to do my own show and bring in comedians and guests who want to be there.
Well, I mean, all the comedy clubs were closed, so you did a real cool thing, man. Like by hosting these private comedy events, and then also,
I don't even remember when the fuck it was. Was it when that things were closed, or did I just feel like doing it?
oh, dude, it was when things were closed because like all the comedians didn't have anywhere to go and do comedy. They're all doing these like home shows and stuff like that. So
Yeah, Zoom was the worst for stand up.
I can't believe they did that. Yeah, holy shit. So I'm just saying you a G dog. That's all I'm saying.
I appreciate that. Yeah, no, I admire, you know, all the comedians and creators who fought back against all this BS. And I have lists, and that's who I want to. I'm not in a position of necessarily great power or influence in the entertainment industry at the moment per se, but I would love to be in that type of position someday where I could give jobs, have jobs, provide jobs for actors and comedians on screen, on stage, and like and I know who was who who was on the right side of history during these times. There's a handful of them on libertarians, conservatives, apoliticals, disaffected liberals. Those are my favorite. That's my favorite four group of people when it comes to like the politics. Is you know, I have issues with all those people, including libertarians as one. But anyway,
Well, okay, so let's go back a little bit. I mean, when did you first get to LA? Like, when did that happen?
I graduated college May 04 and I came out here June 04 with
Oh wow. So
yeah, right away basically. With a
oh shit. So okay, so you've been there a long time. How I've always wondered this with people who've been in LA a long time because it changed pretty drastically.
I was gonna say I should be further in life, but everyone has their own journey, and it's funny when people are impressed the fact that I'm still here. Sometimes I'll run into someone I haven't seen in a while, talk to somebody like, "Oh, you still kicking around out here? Oh, that's awesome!" Blah 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 blah. So you know, people get it. There's a lot of there's like I don't even know if I'm a life or whatever, but there's a lot of people who find their niche and do their creative thing. But what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, like, I mean, what have you observed about LA other than let's say pre-COVID and all that stuff, because LA totally changed them. But I mean, I don't know. Do you still love LA? Do you still find it to be magical, or has it lost its luster with all the bullshit happening in recent years?
I think I have to come to terms with that. I don't love it. that I try to be respectful. I try to be respectful, appreciate the city, appreciate the good, be honest with myself about the bad. I don't have to. I just like most people in this town, and I'm more at peace with that than ever. Because you can find your lane, you find the places you like to go to enjoy yourself. You find creative people you vibe with, other people you vibe with. Limit the interactions with the people and places that are not the best use of your time. So you kind of find it, you know. But I'll drive around sometimes over these canyon roads and have music, you know, going, have my vape pen, doing my thing. So I do feel like, you know, the spirit of the city and the history a little bit, you know, thinking about, you know, the past of the city. It is there's something magical is not the right word. It's more like it's something darker than that, but not totally dark. Maybe it's a duality.
It's mystical.
Yes, that's a better word. I do feel the LA does feel mystical, if not. I think any magic that happens here is not because of the city in a weird way. It's like LA didn't do that. It's just like, oh, the people kind of made what it was. But the mystical comes from, I think, the nature of the city and I guess maybe the history a little bit more.
The mysticism attracts the people who create the magic.
The natural aspects of the city and the history combined is what makes it mystical.
I always felt like it's a city that
The people are magic.
well, it's a city that attracts dreamers, or at least it used to. Hopefully, it still does in some level. I guess we'll see what the future holds. But like at least when I was there, it's like everybody, even if like some people are totally full of shit. Like a lot of people are full of shit too. Like there's a lot of dreamers that go there and then they leave after 2 or 3 years as they realize like, oh, it's just not like You know what I'm saying? But that energy is always there, and that's the one thing I always liked about it.
Yeah, a lot of people comment on that, and I have to acknowledge it. I don't like thinking of myself as a dreamer because that sounds like totally impractical and almost like it would deter me from goals. I feel like goals and plans are better. Dreams are stupid. Dreams are something you have when you go to bed at night. Dreams are something that that's like when you're saying a dream, it's got to be almost impossible. You got to, but like I don't know. I'm gonna move to LA and pursue a career, like, that's a dream? Kind of that why you were gonna say your dream? I don't know. I guess it's different because I'm not I do think of it a little bit in these terms. I know it's a very competitive field, like, I guess, broadly speaking, entertainment industry, but the fact that I'm not a, actor and I'm not even a stand-up comedian where I guess well, a lot of people, a handful do stand-up comedians were former actors or still actors that just wanted to take more control of their careers and pursued stand-up comedy. They learned or they kept getting doing the mics and just getting better and just fell in love with it, obviously. So, but the fact that I'm not an actor, I think I have a little bit more control of my career. So I don't think and life. And even if I'm not like, living in a mansion in Bel Air, like I can still think of my goals for the day, week, month, year, future in terms of in that way and not like, oh, these are my dreams. I'm here for my dreams.
I mean, I think it's good to dream. You got to just match it with action, I suppose, is the idea.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
daydream.
know, I'm dreaming right now. I don't even know if I'm here.
Yeah. No, I
Am I
am. I'm an
imagining you
idealist.
guys
I dream.
lucid?
I'm all that dumb. Yeah.
By the way, what can you explain for someone who's probably never seen you before, met you before? What do you do in the entertainment industry?
Well, I just ended a long tenure working for HGTV's House Hunters as an associate producer. So I've been looking around for the next thing, but I host a couple of podcasts, of course, you and streams, and you guys have been on that. The Inspired Vibes Lounge, formerly People We Love, and my unofficial Tedeski Trucks podcast, and we can get into that too. And I've done the comedy shows and obviously, and I'm pursuing the filmmaking thing, and we can get into that as well. So it means a lot of different things. I actually just took on. I think it's okay to talk about this. Like I just took on a writing job, adapting a play to be a animated series, and I started the first episode of that. So that's been fun. So just we'll see where the wind blows, but I'm definitely someone who wears and can wear many hats. Master none.
Let's talk about your filmmaking then, because like when I met you, I don't know if you had just released it or if it had been around a while, but you did a short film called The Edited, and so can you explain to people what The Edited's about and maybe some of the themes?
The Edit is a dystopian. I call it either a psychological satire or a sci-fi drama about an earnest misfit girl who enters a new high school in a new part of the country, and she finds it's a strange school where they literally edit science, history, literature. They teach that Big Brother is the hero of 1984. They teach that it's the declaration of dependence on the powers that be in this society. So when we're watching this, we're wondering, will this new pupil fight for truth, or will she fall victim to this cult-like environment? And it's a 10-minute short film. And I'm working on a series, a web series, a digital series, and then a longer series, hopefully, for a bigger platform at some point. It's all inspired by this short film with events taking place before, this short and then after.
And I believe that new series that you're working on might even include someone from a show called The Goat Show that may be helping you realize that. Are those rumors true that I've heard, maybe seen?
Yes, Deezy has been super supportive in my creative endeavors. I appreciate him. No, Deezy's cool. No, Fresh has been helping me put together a pitch deck of documents and graphics, and so I can look for investment.
It looks dope. I mean, I hope you don't mind. He kind of showed me some of the stuff he's putting together. And
I think he's using your account or something, isn't it? Say it's Fresh.
what? He's using the Go Show account for your stuff?
Fuck it. No excuses. Yeah, I am.
Explain yourself.
I am. And what?
It's okay. It's fine. If it's for you, Adam, it's okay. It's fine.
If you need a handsome actor to cast.
We got an Indian guy.
I'll keep that in mind.
You need a person of color.
I'll need extras at the very least. I'll try to give you a line. I'll need extras for I think 2 days at some point.
Listen, you go with Deezy, you're getting on Rumble. You go with me, you're getting on Netflix. That's all I gotta say.
Did you say Rumble?
We can have no white boys being the main character. Shit. Actually, I'll trans myself so that we get on Netflix. How about that?
I look vaguely Middle Eastern.
I was gonna say y'all are light skins enough.
Okay, now you say that.
That's where it's at. Is the light skins.
All right, write a Middle Eastern in, write a, and then Fresh can be a Chechenian albino.
Raceless. We're all raceless. We're all race amorphous.
I feel like it's very, very, a very ambiguous group of people.
Yeah, which
We're all
makes
trans
sense.
too.
We're a melting
What?
pot. Who?
ZiLLY, you're trans? You didn't tell us.
We all are for this show, so that you
Oh.
can get it. So Netflix will pick it up. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming the themes of this new series will be similar to the themes of the original series.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like what part of the reason I want to turn this into a series is basically to throw every black-pilled conspiracy idea into the series into a narrative form, and then maintain, still a white pill, a positive. What is it that when authoritarianism and tyranny and come down upon the people and liberty is threatened, what do we have when we have all those things, seemingly even stripped away? We have our friendship, we have our camaraderie, we have our family, we have love, we have humor, we have music, we have story. Like those are the things that even like the characters are going to dive into in what I'm working on.
Damn, I'd watch it.
I appreciate that. I'll keep everyone posted. Everything takes longer than I think it's going to, but I'm just going through the process of creation and pre-production is important, and I'm being reminded of that a lot too. Is to get your ducks in a row. That way, when you're actually going to shoot the thing, and then in post-production, you've solved a lot of issues already, and it's not going to cost you more time and money then. So, and that's normal.
I got two things to ask you. First thing is, how do you feel about AI entering the picture? Is that something that maybe you might use for what you're doing? It could be an advantage, or do you feel like it's a threat?
I've been using it, and I have such. I think I honestly have a very healthy relationship with AI. Like, and I think I use it very well. I think I use it very judiciously. I've learned a lot about it to the point where I probably underrate my own skills using it, especially when it comes to just conversational stuff. Let alone like I haven't dove too much into creating a little bit with creating images. Nothing with like I haven't created sound or videos. I don't know. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't feel the same. AI movies. If people want to enjoy them, I don't know. I don't feel threatened by it. I want to shoot at real sets with real actors. That's what I want to do. People could do whatever they want. AI can help. I use it to help me with writing and brainstorming. It's kind of like a writing partner in a way, but there's only so much it kind of is in the key in the brain and the fingertips of the beholder, because you got to prompt it to ask certain things. It's if you say write a script for me about blah 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 blah, write a screenplay for me about blah 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 blah, the dialogue is going to be so stilted. Maybe that's going to be better someday, but even then, I don't know. It doesn't feel the same. Guns N' Roses doesn't feel the same when it's not more of the original lineup with Slash. It just doesn't. The musicians could be great. They could play Sweet Child of Mine note for note. I might not. You might even be able to not tell me who was playing, but once I find out, and if people know, it doesn't feel the same. People still crave that authenticity that we were kind of referring to earlier. So I'm not threatened in that way. I was joking with my mom yesterday that I'm not threatened about AI taking my job. I think it will kill me before it takes my job. I could be wrong also. Like, I'm not the most knowledgeable. I'm just like a dummy who's like helping, cover letters with ChatGPT and asking Grok, questions about cooking. So maybe I'm not the expert either. But these are actually things I'm exploring in the edited as well. That's why I don't know if X would be a great platform for it, because I push back against maybe some of the Neuralink ideas, but also I want to be fair too. So that's something I'd like to explore. I would love to talk to Elon about the edited and the series and what he thinks about like what does he think is fair to criticize and be worried about when it comes to AI in the future. I don't know. I'll hit him up. I'll tag him. I tried a few times because he's active. You know, you never know if like he's gonna respond to you, get at you. But that doesn't give you a following just because like Elon necessarily responded to. Like, oh my God, let me follow that guy that Elon responded to. Oh, who's this? I guess it can only help.
You'd be surprised if you get an Elon retweet, then that's an immediate X payout.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You're getting monetized same day. As soon as Elon retweets your post, like it's gonna have millions and millions of impressions, and people will follow you. Yeah, it's crazy.
Especially if it's a positive thing, you're getting more. Although either or, you're getting some.
Or if he reposts you and agrees with you, you know, if he's like, "I agree with this" or agreed, then it's gonna be your phone will melt because of the notifications. I'm sure.
When I have a clip to share from future episodes, I'll post the clip where the guy's being cured from his paralysis by the Neuralink AI element versus like the government draining the guy's bank account because he posted something wrong on social media through the AI. That's the, you know, yeah, everything is a duality, but the AI is scary because it's, I don't know, it's a seeding of human control potentially of our own, like our as a species, we're losing control of the destiny or future a little bit. So that's how it's a little bit different than
Our liberty, right? I mean, like that's kind of the Faustian bargain is you get all this knowledge and convenience and all that. I mean, that's how they get you. They don't put a gun to your head. They go, hey, use this AI to be a writing partner. It's like, okay, well, now I'm going to write all this stuff and then it's going to understand more and more who you are.
I remember Fresh was talking about on my when we record on one of those people we love saying that AI might destroy humanity not because it dislikes us, so to speak, or because it has some kind of agenda on us, but it just purely sees us as um, inefficient, and it could. And I think you said it could even survive maybe with just the animals, just animals and machines. And no humans could be a thing potentially if AI sees animals as something more efficient and natural and in their ecosystem. But maybe there's a third option.
Well, I mean, logistically, they are, right? Like, logistically, they are more efficient than us. Like, most animals that have survived to the current age, like, when they move, they don't waste an ounce of energy. Like, all moves are deliberate and intentional. And, like,
That's how I'm trying to be.
exactly. Well, if you want to be like that, I have a product for you, bro. It's called the Neuralink.
Did you say Adderall?
What I was gonna say is the third option, or a third option, another option could be like the AI. It already knows a lot about liberty. So what if the AI just starts like being like, oh, I'm gonna develop political philosophy and a political system, and it's like obviously freedom is the best thing. Like, look at this. It's so you say it's gonna be logical, but what the logic it might apply is liberty on a grand scale. So you might get some like, what if AI becomes like autistic intelligence?
I'm calling it right now. We're going to have a robot AI president at some point.
A libertarian AI. It's a libertarian AI is autistic intelligence.
Libertai Aryan.
Libertarian AI is autistic intelligence. I'll go.
Do you guys remember the movie Golden Eye? No, what is it? Is it Gold Eye?
Bond movie?
Eagle Eye? No,
Goldeneye is the Bond movie.
that's not what it was. It's like it's Eagle Eye with Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, right.
And it's like the big like crazy AI monitoring system that has control over like everything in the whole in anywhere that there is a telephone or some kind of thing that has a signal, it can see stuff. It's crazy. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, I think we should do a video review on that in the future because it kind of ties in with Orwell and all the stuff.
Yeah, I should write that down and check that out because that's something I actually sort of think about in my worlds that I'm creating. Because you almost can't have a narrative story. I guess you can, but it's hard to where the main characters or characters being surveilled all the time. It's like you have to be able to get a little bit into their private world or a separate world. Even in 1984, the story, there were times when the characters were not, being surveilled, even in their own residences and things like that. So that's like a delicate thing, But then I don't want to get too bogged down into these plots and these rules, either, so to speak.
Listen, hear me out, Adam. I got an idea for you to get this series picked up by Apple. All right, Demolition Man remake. Just think on it. Just think on it.
I'm open for writing jobs. That's kind of what that's honestly what I would really like to do. Or, one of the things that I would strongly like to pursue next is like, I'm open to writing project, like taking on other projects. I mean, obviously I want to write and direct my own things, but jobs are good.
When we write the title for this interview, we should put at future Netflix executive producer, like at Netflix future executive producer or something,
I think in the description is better because then it's a little bit more low key. In the big title is a little bit too bold, but put it in the.
Hey man, you got to shoot your shot. He's been pushing me to shoot the shot. Now he's right. We got to fucking put it out there. Top line, Netflix. No, not Netflix. Apple, because who knows what happens with Netflix. Apple. Tim Cook. Hey G, Tim Cook. We love you on this show. Give our boy Adam what he needs, the resources he needs. Okay, I know you got those planes full of iPhones coming, but
I was gonna say that's part of the thing is like, I could go from making a short film into a half-hour series, but that's probably like a big jump, either for me to sell it to a bigger platform, investors, etc., or to produce on my own, even a pilot or something like that. That's why I want to do this. Sort of what I'm shooting for is a 10 episode digital series where every episode is shot at a single location with repeating locations. All are like in the 3 to 5 minute kind of length, like 5 to 7 days shooting total, very low budget kind of thing. So that's kind of like, I think it's more feasible. So if I can get these 10 episodes up and people really dig that, I think that will, open up bigger doors is kind of the thought. And it will be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I want to ask you, man, because I don't know if we've ever had this conversation. Where did Liberty? How did that even arrive on your radar? When did you start? When would you have called yourself a libertarian, and how did you arrive at that?
I have the most cliche story. The only difference between a lot, it's funny because I almost assume everyone who's around the same age, if they're liberty minded anyway, has the same story. Like just discovering Ron Paul. That's basically the story. I didn't discover him in 2008. Maybe I had heard of him, but for whatever reason, maybe I was too swept up in the Obama stuff, and I wasn't even swept up. I just was like, oh, I guess that's a good thing that's happening. Let me watch sports, kind of thing. Not like I wasn't campaigning for Obama. I don't think I ever really campaigned for anyone up to, at that point anyway. But no, I was just watching, I guess must have caught the Republican debates in 2012. And I was like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Who's this guy with the ill-fitting suit who's pissing off everyone, but also agreeing with both sides sometime? And then the media is like blacking him out or disparaging him. That's weird. Why is he only getting 2 minutes to talk in the polls if he's or in the debates if he's higher in the polls right now? You're telling me that who's in first place and third place and this guy's in second, and you're not even mentioning his name. So then I'm like, oh, okay, so it's because he's talking about the military industrial complex and the Federal Reserve. Oh, let me learn about those things. And then the rest is kind of history. So 2012 is basically it.
It's so funny. Like the more you censor something, the more people are going to find out about it and are naturally going to want to know what it is. Because people forget that. Like the Republicans were not friendly to anyone on the liberty side of anything. It was all neocons all day long.
Yeah, and then no one wanted to when you have this new information, you want to tell everyone about it, and they don't react in the way that you want to react, and then you get upset. But then 10 years goes by, and then you become more at peace with the world around you, and you give less shits. That's why I think like we're better at being pilled. If it takes time to be able to, I mean, your worldview changes, your outlook will change, I don't know, a lot changes when your political views, become drastically different, or suddenly formed. And I think that takes time to be able to adjust to emotionally, because the world around you doesn't see things the way you do.
Right. Yeah, I think anybody who has been around for the last 20 years and been on that side of things knows exactly what you're talking about. I wanted to talk to you about your podcast, man. You mentioned them before. So what's going on? You have a podcast called People We Love, or it's now called Inspired. What's going on with that?
It's now, this is so much fun to talk about myself and not have to host and worry about logistics and technology. And I just can just sit back and just, be on easy street here. It used to be called People We Love, and primarily what I would do with that one is interview people from all walks of life, most often comedians, entertainment types, creative types, entrepreneurs, but really people from all walks of life, and even family, friends, and then people recommend it to me. And I have casual conversation about their lives and careers and who and what inspires them, essentially. And then I kind of just, I as you might gather, I'm probably taking on too much and have a lot on my plate and a lot I need to do. So it's like I don't know. I wanted to figure out more of a balance, and I wanted to kind of maybe explore some different things and some rebranding. People We Love kind of seemed narrow a little bit to me. I want to do something more casual, maybe get more into streaming. So I wanted to do, but still uplifting and inspiring. So the Inspired Vibes Lounge is kind of the name that I brainstormed with Mr. GPT, and I've been doing live streams every Monday, 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And it's definitely casual, but I've been having on recurring guests and still talking about life and politics and who and what inspires people and what people have been up to. And we played Jackbox a couple of times, and we played Jackbox party games, and I've been playing a little bit more music. I need to figure out get my mic system a little bit better, but it's been fun. I'm kind of like exploring possibilities with the show and building, even of course through Forest Mommy Jessica Fensky, being connected to her community a little bit and that world, making new friends and diving deeper into friendships and relationships with other content creators. So that's been cool too, for sure. We'll see where it goes. But I do enjoy streaming, and I appreciate or have realized that there's something different about live stream when you invite someone on, because here's this is the thing, versus like setting up a recording. Like, we didn't have a problem or anything, but sometimes it can be like, I'm busy that day, I'm busy this day, when's this, we can do that. It's not as locked in somewhat. It's like, this is the thing, this is the date, it's Monday, it's every week. People get into more of a routine, and I think that's how you build trust in community, or it is a way to build trust in community. And I'm also no longer putting out audio versions of People We Love, or now Inspired Vibes Lounge. Yeah, I'm just only going to do, because also the streams are super long, so I don't need, and it's just, I think it's just better and makes more sense for my schedule at the moment to just do a Monday night show. And I've been having guests, but I may do some solo shows and just see where they go. I've gone 3, 4, 5 hours with these streams if people are hanging. It's like I was telling ZiLLY Ravine, it's hard to leave a stream when you have 2 people there, 3 people there, 20, hundreds of people, whatever it is. It's like you want to stay. It's fun. So that's kind of where I'm at with that one.
Yeah, I remember me and Fresh would do the spaces or whatever on Twitter, and we would just let it go. And sometimes it would go like 3 hours, or like, so.
Somebody would have to be like, all right, we're shutting it down because like I have an actual in real life, like something that I've planned for like a decade, like, so I'm going to shut the show down. And then he would still be like, actually, you know what? I'll leave it running in my pocket. Like, you guys go, and when you're done, just leave. Like,
Bro, the Shillin Villain space was like 3 hours long, but at one point, because somebody was botted, we had like 8,000 people in that space.
That's right. We have a suspicion.
So imagine trying to shut it down then. I'm not shutting it down at 8,000 people in the space. I don't care if it's botted or not. I'm leaving that up.
Yeah, come back when you can.
Right. And it's got to be a high if you're someone like Kai Cenat or somebody where, there's literally thousands and thousands of people constantly commenting in the chat. Like, it's got to be a lot of, I don't know, a lot of dopamine feedback you're getting. So
Yeah, you gotta appreciate it, but it's not everything also, like, easier for me to say. But, like, I but, no, yeah, I get it. You gotta balance in life, or something.
Right, right, of course. And then you have another podcast. Okay, so tell me about Tedeski Trucks Band. I know it's got Derek Trucks in the band and his wife, Derek Trucks of Allman Brothers fame. Tell me, like, where did your love of that band come from, and then what prompted the podcast?
I host the unofficial Tedeschi Trucks Italian pronunciation, Tedeschi. Susan Tedeschi is Derek Trucks' wife. She plays guitar and sings. And I would say the lead singer of the band. Her name is in the band. Well, obviously not obviously, but Derek Trucks played with the Allman Brothers Band from 1999 to 2014, and his uncle was an original member of the band. Butch Trucks was one of their two drummers, JMO being the other drummer. So obviously Derek grew up around this music and been playing guitar since he was a kid, since he was a teen. He was a prodigy playing slide guitar, and I had always kind of liked the Allman Brothers music, but only kind of really knew their hits, or heard their hits on their radio hits, Ramblin' Man and Jessica, the long instrumental. I remember maybe even first hearing it was on the Field of Dreams soundtrack. Uh, they used Jessica when I think when he's driving around, in the country with James Earl Jones, whatever, Kevin Costner character. Right. So, and then in college, like I said, I played trumpet earlier, but then in college, everyone on your floor, every other person has a guitar, is a musician or something. I'm like, let me try that. I want to try that. My dad had played guitar, but he didn't really play it all that much growing up, but music was kind of around. But then I started to pick up guitar in college, and then not until I came to LA, and not until really years later. Actually must have been 2008, 9, 10, around then. I started to get more into slide guitar. I didn't even really realize what it was for whatever reason earlier. And then I tried to learn it, and I'm like, oh, and I'm going down YouTube rabbit holes. And my dad's like, you should check out this Derek Trucks guy. And I'm like, and I knew the name and I kind of recognized him, but like I said, I never went down the hardcore Allman Brothers rabbit hole. Despite liking classic rock and blues and Allman Brothers hits, it was just not my thing at that time in like any hardcore way. But I watched some stuff on YouTube. I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like this. And then I saw them live. And I'm not even totally sure if it was a Tedeski Trucks Band, like under that name at that point. It was 2010. It was at House of Blues in Hollywood in LA when it existed, and it was a guitar shredding competition. And as part of the night, it was at the end there was going to be like a performance by Tedeski Trucks Band or Tedeski Trucks Band members, and it was most of them. And I kind of knew seeing that live, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I'm like, these guys are pretty damn good. So with each passing day, month, year, I'm diving down YouTube rabbit holes and then starting to see them once a year, twice a year, three, whatever it is, whenever I can. And I'm talking to people online. I'm talking to people offline about the band. I'm in all the Facebook groups. And then I'm like, all right, I want to start a podcast about these guys. Ultimately, this was 2019-ish. I was probably already thinking about it. And I'd actually talked to a few like podcasting like networks about this idea. But I guess Tedeski Trucks Band probably isn't, they're not huge enough where some like outside entity is going to want to like invest, or maybe, I don't know, maybe things have changed now. And also I didn't have a big name or following myself. I just had an idea at this point also. So eventually I was just like, fuck it. Actually, it's funny because April 2020 COVID is when I started the podcast, when the band wasn't even touring and there wasn't really much to talk about. So I kind of had to create episodes and subjects I just wanted to kind of rant about the band. But yeah, I don't know, that was kind of more just coincidence that it's like that's the time I got started.
I mean, it's still going strong. You're still interviewing people. Did you ever end up interviewing Susan and Derek?
I haven't had Susan or Derek Trucks on. Susan, well, I'm working on it. I'm working on Susan for sure, and hopefully Derek too.
Come on now, Susan. Come on now, Derek.
I've had Gabe Dixon, their keyboard player, also sings and writes with them. Kebby Williams, their sax player, was super cool. He was on, so I'm working. I know some of them don't do really any media at all, so it's not me, which kind of feels that helps a little bit. And,
but you're a super fan doing a podcast. Come on now, they got to come on at some point.
right. No, I think it'll happen. But really do love talking to anyone related to or connected to the band in any way, and really have, whether it's photographers, whether it's journalists, whether it's other musicians, the musicians who've opened for them. Fans is kind of my bread and butter. Recapping shows. That's like kind of like once the tour gets going, I'll have a handful of fans who went to the most recent shows on. Here, you're coming on to talk about Hartford. You're coming on to talk about Boston. And then we'll go through each show. And depending on how many people and how much time people would say, we'll go through fucking every song in the set list and what we remember and why we love the song. Or we'll kind of just jump around, tell stories. It's pretty casual, but it's been fun. And also I've had their ex-bass player, Tim Lefebvre, who's super cool and super nice guy. He played on Bowie's last album. So he's legit. A jazz dude. Yeah, Tim you can look him. Well, I'll send later, but yeah, Tim Lefebvre.
We can put it in the show notes. Yeah, that I'd love to see that. Yeah, Bowie's always had great bassists with everything he's done. So much of his music's.
I could talk about this band all day, so you'll have to stop me because I could talk about anything related to the show. I had my dad on episode 70. I happen to remember the episode because he was a regular at the Fillmore East when that was a thing, 70 to 71, 71 to 72, right around there. It was a very short era, but everyone in the 60s played it, from Hendrix to Clapton to Janis Joplin, Elton John, and Carlos Santana. Like every name and act from that era, they played at the Fillmore East, even though it was just a very short. And he was there almost every weekend, so had a lot. And he was at the live at the Fillmore, the Allman Brothers, famous live recording, which some people say is the best rock blues live album of all time. Probably is.
Mm-mm. That's the Eat a Peach. Is that the album? Or no, that's the album itself.
Well, that album's very famous too, but the live at the Fillmore East is the live album. I think Mountain Jam might be the same on both albums. I could be mistaken.
Live at Fillmore East. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I can't say I followed Tedeski Trucks, although I follow through you. But yeah, Allman Brothers is one of my beloved bands. I always find myself coming back to them, especially the Duane Allman era, that era.
Well, speaking of, we're recording this on, I don't know when this is going to come out, but next week on Tuesday, on Wednesday and Tuesday and Wednesday, the 15th and 16th, they're doing a show in Madison Square Garden called The Brothers. So basically a reunion show with Derek Trucks, with Warren Haynes, with J-Mo's going to be there. I don't know if Susan's going to be there singing at all. She's not a brother?
That's interesting because Greg and Dwayne are no longer here, so it's kind of interesting. The other players are getting together. Oh, very cool. But they're all killer. I mean,
yeah, Warren Haynes, Mark Quinones was in there. Oteil Burbridge, whose brother is Kofi Burbridge, who used to be in Tedeski Trucks Band, who sadly passed a few years ago. He'll be there. He plays with Dead and Company. Do you know Oteil Burbridge by any chance?
I don't know him, but I know Dead and Company with what?
Yeah, he's an awesome player, and a couple of other guys there. Isaac Eady from Tedeski Trucks Band is going to be one of the drummers. Yes, it'll be an awesome. It's going to be on nugs.net streaming. I'll probably get it or listen to the audio.
Wait, what's nugs.net?
Nugs.net.
Is it like hippie shit?
It is a lot of jam band stuff, but basically it's a live music subscription site.
Oh, okay.
You pay I think maybe if you're a member, you get stuff for free or cheaper, or you can buy sometimes a la carte. It's live streaming. It's a concert live streaming thing, and they produce the streams or co-produce the streams with the band. I think I had that information correct. I think some of the cameras are sometimes they're all fixed, but they have like cameras all over the venue and they cut.
Oh, nice.
And other times might be a couple of humans with cameras as well. And
right.
I think someone is directing it. Sometimes the direction is better than ever. Tedeski Trucks has 12 members, so I have to sometimes be a little patient. Cut to the person doing the solo right now. You're missing the sex solo. Why are you showing her?
I feel for the whoever submits that whole thing. Holy shit!
I could do that. Let me direct the I would love to do something with Tedeski Trucks, a documentary, or concert film or something like.
Yeah.
But you know what they say. I don't know if it's still true. I remember someone said this one time. If you become a documentary filmmaker, like first, and you're known as the documentary filmmaker first, it's harder to get into the narrative world. And I think it's also partly because I think the industry people, the world will see you as a documentary filmer. So I think there's just that. But I think, just life and human nature and just like, oh, this is what I do. This is what's making me money. Why I only have X amount of hours a day. And then I think that's how people lose sight of their dreams because they get, and not that there's anything wrong with that. And
I think I'll just say this much. I think it would be a great idea for you to follow that band. If you love them, I mean, you've already proven that you love the band. You're already making the podcast. I mean, nobody asked you to do the podcast. You decided to do it yourself. So
yeah, no, I would love
if
to
I were
do
them. I would
love to
reach
do
out
some
to you.
sort of video content with them at some point. That's besides narrative filmmaking and narrative content films and scripted content shows, series, digital, web, online streaming, TV.
Actually, Adam, you know what you should say to these fuckheads who say you can't do that? You say, look, listen, Scorsese did fucking Goodfellas, and then he also did the Talking Heads movie.
Yeah. Note the order that he did.
And the Rolling Stones.
Note the
and
order.
He's done documentaries.
But he did narrative films first. He was Scorsese first. That's the thought. And
he did the last. When did The Last Waltz come out? The Last Waltz was what year?
I'm sure he'd done films before that,
but not his biggest movies, I don't think. But I mean, he did Alice Didn't Live Here Anymore and Mean Streets probably before he did that one. But still, I'm just saying.
No, I'm not turning down work, and a lot of these would be amazing opportunities doing projects, directing projects that are not scripted projects. But I think for me at this moment, I think that's where I need to focus on is like my stuff, my content, my narrative filmmaking, my writing as well. I would love to also direct a stand-up comedy special. I think that would be super, a comedy film. That's really what I want to do. And I started to explore that and brainstorm a little bit with some comedians. But again, like maybe how I was saying, the narrative filmmaking can get away from some people. Maybe that's an area right now where it's like, oh, I can't really focus on like making a stand-up comedy special. And a lot of them are filmed super cheap, but I think more can be done with low budget stand-up comedy specials. I think they can be more intimate. I think there's room for some more personalization and things involved with those and more production value versus like my specials on YouTube and check it out, me at so-and-so club. And these are cool, but I think that, and also it would just be fun. It would be just so much fun to do something like that. Have a skit before, some intro, something, whatever the comedian wants to do. We'll brainstorm that kind of thing.
Cool, man. Well, I mean, I'm excited for you, man. I think you're going to do great things.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think as long as you just, I mean, you're doing it, so just stick with it, and you'll get there eventually.
I have a post-it list. I have my lists. I have all these things I need to do. Like every day I wake up, I'm like, I don't spend much time thinking about what I have to do next. Usually it's just like, oh, let me look at the list and just do it, to the best of my abilities.
Same over here, like going a million directions, but just like step by step each day.
Fucking annoying. I want to be 6 months where in my head. I want to be I want to be in my head.
But then when you get there, it's going to be the same story. You're going to have 20. Now you have 20 things to do for the one thing. You know what I'm saying? I just think it's just what it is. And you're just going to have to.
The journey.
Not you specifically, but just in general. Yeah.
You got to love
you got to love.
You got to love your craft. Like Kobe. Yeah. Kobe practices free throws, but he loved practicing his free throws or whatever's turning fadeaways.
Right. Well, listen, man. I think we can call it a day here. As we do on the show, as you know, we like to toast the goats.
Dude, I'm impressed by we're at the 1 hour 5 minute mark, and we kind of did cover it all. And I tried my best to get us off track.
You're doing pros here on this show, bro.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I was the new age MTV, bro.
What's that?
Goat. We're the new age MTV, man. We're Goat TV over here.
Yeah, I was for sure. I was like gonna derail the conversation in the first 10-15 minutes about something not related to my creative, personal, whatever endeavors or any questions that you had pre-prepared.
No, I mean, if you have anything else you would like to say to the goats out there, feel free to say it. If not.
No, I don't think I have anything else to say other than plugs or whatever, like, and I don't know.
I mean, where can people find you? I mean, we'll put it in the show notes, but where can people enjoy your work?
at Adam Choit on Twitter and Instagram, and I have my link tree in those bios. That's probably the easiest way to find all my stuff. I will be promoting likely a crowdfunding campaign in the next few months for the edit of the series, so look out for that. More info to come on that. If you want to, you can go ahead and follow the edited series on Instagram. It's the page is on its infancy stages, but it's up.
All right. Well, there you go. There you go. And I do recommend maybe we can, I don't know, maybe Fresh, we can insert a trailer for the short film they did with the original short film or something like that. But yeah.
Hey man, I
enjoyed it.
appreciate it all. Put it whatever the hell. Yeah, it's all good. Thank you.
All right. All right. Well, with that, thank you, Adam, for coming on the show. Appreciate you giving us your time and your energy. Fresh, what do the goats out there got to do?
You got to like, you got to subscribe, you got to hit the bell, you got to drop a comment, send it to your mom, your dad, your aunt, your uncle, and send it to everybody, man.